It's been a minute. Welcome back to Quote the Raven podcast. I got lazy with this podcast when we went on the bye week. It wasn't really that I even had got lazy. It was just so much shit going on in the NFL. I was finna say NBA. And I wanted to, and I had got sick. So I had to, I started putting the Ravens breakdowns in the same videos with my Kicking It with Saint podcast. But we do got an episode of Quote the Raven podcast because I can't go really in depth on the Ravens on the other podcast like I can on this one because I'm talking about multiple teams on that podcast most of the time. But I can go in depth about the Ravens and more shit pertaining to the Ravens on this podcast. So if you're joining me, again, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the podcast. I appreciate you for joining me. I appreciate you for taking time out of your day to stop by and listen. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you decided to stop by here with me, and I appreciate you for that. You's a real one. You got to go ahead and start the podcast like we do every single time. Go ahead and take your hit. You ready? The batteries done been put in my back. It's time to go. Yo. So, Thursday night. I'm telling you, man, this shit creeped up on me like a thief in the night, bro. I don't know how I didn't realize we played on Thursday night. I didn't realize till yesterday that we played the Dolphins on Thursday night. Somebody had hit me up and was like, you gonna talk about the Ravens, Dolphins this week? And I was like, the Ravens and the Dolphins? What the fuck? And then I look at the schedule and I'm like, oh shit, we play on Thursday night. Good lord. But Ravens, Dolphins. Obviously got to start off with for the Dolphins. I don't even know if Tua Tagovailoa is playing. I was looking at reports earlier today saying he's still having problems with the finger and whatnot. So, bruh might be starting this game for them again, Jacoby Brissett. And I didn't talk about the Dolphins a lot in that last breakdown on Kicking It with Saint. For the simple reason, them motherfuckers just played one of the worst games against the Texans. The Texans and the Miami both took parts in one of the worst games in the last couple years with all the turnovers and shit. So I was not finna break that game down. I didn't watch that game. It was no point of anybody watching that game with two teams that had one win on the season. I can't imagine that imagine Houston and Miami fans paying to go to that game, bro. You telling me there's nothing better you could be doing on a Sunday afternoon than going to that specific game? Like, why would they still? I really want to know, do Miami and Houston sell out games this year still? Because if those organizations still sell out right now, that is just showing you that fans have an unwavering loyalty to these teams. Because good Lord have mercy, there's no fucking way I would be paying to go to a Ravens. I'm not saying I wouldn't be a Ravens fan, but I'm not paying to go to a Ravens game if these motherfuckers only got one win on the season, bro. It's not happening. Like, yes, I might even still look at half of the games. And when I say half of the games, I'm talking about I might even still look at this third and fourth quarter. But I'm not finna be wasting time watching a 1-8 win team, bro, with no chance or hopes for turning it around the rest of this season. And that's what's crazy, because I don't even think the Dolphins should have been this bad. Like, them motherfuckers was a game away from the playoffs last year. So this is it's pretty crazy. But no point of looking at that game. I don't understand fans who would go to that game. Like, that's pretty wild to me. I'm not gonna stunt with you, cause I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just different, bro. I'm sure there's some other people out there who feel the same way I feel about this. It's no fucking way I'm going to a game, and this not even just football. This any fucking sport, bro. I'm not going to watch a team that's trash, bro. Listen, respect to the players who out there trying this shit, but it's just certain products you're not paying to go see, bro. It's other shit you could be doing than waste. You can't even pull out a blunt and smoke a blunt when these motherfuckers is losing this shit, bro. Like, it's no shot, bro. I have to watch these games at home, for one, because if my team if you watch Baltimore on a weekly basis, bro, these games is blunt filled, bro. It's no way, if you a drinker, a smoker, bro, it's no way you getting through these Baltimore games the last couple weeks without smoking a blunt, a cigarette, drinking, whatever you do. You got to do all that shit to get through these fucking games, bro. Because Baltimore be wilding. Now, I think this is going to be a easier game on the heart Thursday against the Dolphins. But, bruh, the way our listen, you want to know it's only one defense. I believe I was looking at the thing today. It's only either one or two defenses that's worse than Baltimore's in the pass defense. And that's Miami. No, it's the Redskins. We got a worse pass defense than Miami. Miami 30. We under them. The Redskins under us. So, like, bro, our pass defense has been atrocious. And I got on here and I went to bat for Double A and Marlon Humphrey and all them motherfuckers all year, bro. And I can't even do it no more because Marlon Humphrey. Now, for one, if you really been listening, you done heard me say multiple times. It's always that caveat with Marlo. I know he can cover dudes, and I know he great at tackling and all that type shit, but he do get beat on crazy routes. And not even crazy routes. Just when he get beat, it's crazy how bad he gets beat. And it's a regular occurrence at this point. And so I've been consistent with that all year, and now it's getting real ugly, especially when you don't have Marcus Peters. He is really being missed right now. Jimmy Smith not playing as great, and he don't even play that much. Chuck Clark not great in coverage right now. Deshaun Elliott is hurt, and I don't even think. Boy, this is kind of the problem that I expected to start to show its head based on some of the things that I had saw from us. So I thought that Clark and Deshaun Elliott was box safeties, right? But they do play decent in pass coverage at times. But I wasn't completely sure if that was because of Marlowe and Juice or if they was just good in pass coverage at times. Even though I told you when Chuck Clark struggled in pass coverage at times his first year with Earl Thomas, that was one of the reasons him and Earl couldn't fuck with each other. But Deshaun Elliott is still a young player, so he's still learning this shit too, as is Chuck Clark. But now teams are starting to rip apart Baltimore's secondary. Now, Kirk Cousins didn't necessarily rip them apart. He didn't even throw for 200 yards in the game. And he threw for under 7 yards of completion. So, I understand that. But I'm talking about when we play against all the good quarterbacks who done played against us done had good games. I mean, it is what it is. Derek Carr, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. Fuck, Carson Wentz. I don't even consider him a top quarterback anymore. But he's got talent, and he had a big game against us. So, the defense for Baltimore is just atrocious right now. We can't put pressure on the quarterbacks. We don't get to the quarterback at all, it feel like. Motherfuckers can't defend nobody. We have more breaks and breakdowns and busts and coverage than any fucking team I done seen in the league. Like, it's embarrassing, bro. And that's what's got me not ready to say how good. Like, I know how good Baltimore can be, but I can't pick us to win a Super Bowl right now for a simple reason. This fucking defense, bro. Like, I trust that the Bills defense will get it together in a big game. Like, I can't explain these motherfuckers losing to the Jags. But when it comes to, like, when I'm looking at the Bills, right, I'm saying to myself, I trust Josh Allen. Not more than I trust Lamar Jackson and no shit like that, but I trust him enough, right? Now I'm looking at, so what's the divider between the two? Well, I trust the fucking Bills defense to get stops and get it done when it matters. I don't trust Baltimore's defense right now, bro. They get beat way too much. The linebackers don't tackle good. They stop the run. That's it. But why does that matter when teams don't run it against Baltimore? They have more success throwing it because these motherfuckers don't stop nobody. To me, the runs for other teams against Baltimore is when they run these little short screens and pick up big yards off of it. Teams kill themselves when they try to waste plays by running the ball instead of just continuously attacking Baltimore's defense. Because when they do that, they put Lamar Jackson back on the field. And when you keep giving Lamar Jackson chances to beat you, he gonna beat you. It just is what it is. And so I think that's more the thing than defense getting stops. I think these teams been playing themselves in the L's at times in the sense that it's not that that Baltimore don't win these games because Baltimore got to win the game. But these teams could probably take bigger leads against Baltimore and put the game away and like make it insurmountable. So where Lamar fighting against the clock now, if they just kept throwing the ball, when they waste these drives where they decide to run 2 or 3 times and pick up no yards or pick up the bare minimum yards, because Dalvin Cook had that one big run, but he didn't really kill Baltimore the rest of the game running the ball. So when you look at that, you say to yourself, man, if these teams just continue to throw the ball, have better pass concepts to attack Baltimore's defense all game, who knows what would be happening right now. But with that being said, Baltimore got to start these games faster, bro. Like, that's my only problem with the offense right now. Well, no, obviously I got a problem with the running backs on the offense. Like, the media is I heard Colin Cowherd talk about the integrity of the media today, and how, like, people was all over Lamar, couldn't make comebacks and all this type of shit. But now when he doing it, they don't say nothing, and that's why fans have started to grow like ill will against the media and shit like that. And that's hella true, bro. That's one of the reasons I like Colin, bro. He say random true shit like that out of nowhere. I'm like, yo, that's fucking right. But that's one of the things I'm talking about, bro. Like, you don't see, like, bro, the amount of Lamar hate that's out there it's people who still release videos about how much, bro. Stephen A. legitimately said he don't trust Lamar in the pivotal moments, and he brought up the interception in overtime. This is a dude who clearly don't watch the game. You could watch that game, and they was explaining to you why that was not on Lamar Jackson, that was on Devontae Freeman. Do you think Stephen A. give a fuck? No, bro. It's because he watches the fucking stats in the scoreboard. He doesn't watch the game. If you watch the Baltimore Ravens play, it's no shot you have anything bad to say against Lamar. Yeah, could he be better here and there? Yeah, every quarterback can. I don't understand why the expectation for Lamar Jackson every week is to go out there and be perfect, but the expectation for every other quarterback is just to go out there and get the win. That's very confusing to me because, like I said, Baker Mayfield didn't play great. He only completed 14 passes. If you take away his big throw from Donovan Peoples-Jones, his completion yard just go down. Like, but y'all don't pay attention to that. The media don't talk about shit like that. They don't break down the stats like that, because if they did, they would realize Baker Mayfield is not the reason that the Cleveland Browns win games. But of course, they got narratives to push, so they're not gonna say shit like that. That's could paint the narrative another type of way. And it's like I heard somebody else say, I think it was Pat McAfee, who was like, you can paint narratives for any type of story you want to push, bro. And that's fucking facts, bro. But if you just look at the fucking Cleveland Browns play, it's no fucking chance or no shot that you think that team is winning because of Baker Mayfield, bro. There's no way. But the media will continue to, like, I knew the media was going to be all over Baker's dick after they beat the shit out of the out of the Bengals. But Baker Mayfield does not play defense. Baker Mayfield's not the running back on that team. So it's very confusing how all the credit for the other. And I kept seeing, and I can't remember exactly who it was who said this today, but I think it was Acho, bro, who continuously was giving all the credit to the Baker. Like, I told y'all, bro, I hate it when I hear people say this team turned around since getting Baker. No, motherfucker. Baker happened to be there when the team started to turn around. But for you to give all that credit for this team being turned around to Baker is just outrageous. When he's done his job worse than the other dudes. He was drafted number 1. Y'all don't hold him to them expectations, bro. Kareem Hunt carrying his team, and y'all give him no credit for some reason. Only when it's convenient do y'all give him credit. Right now, y'all give everything he do the credit he should be getting for how great he done been and how he's carried this Browns team, basically. Y'all get that credit to Baker. When the defense play great, y'all get that credit to Baker. When they play bad, y'all blame the defense. Like, it's very odd how the media fuck with. Like, I just don't understand it, bro. But like I said multiple times, as a Baltimore Raven fan, and I'm pretty sure it's Steelers fans out there and it's Bengal fans out there who pray that Baker Mayfield get re-signed. I promise you the Bengals could care less about that L. Well, listen, not care less in the sense that they don't care that they took an L. I'm pretty sure they care that they took that L because it hurt you in the playoff race. But I'm pretty sure they don't mind that Baker Mayfield is the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, bro. And I really don't understand how it's easy for Baltimore fans, Cleveland fans. Because like I said, bro, I done seen more Cleveland fans starting to tell me now and starting to say on Twitter, like, nah, this motherfucker Baker Mayfield is trash, bro. Like, yeah, he's not the guy. He's not going to win us a championship. Like, I done seen a whole bunch of Brown fans start to say that. And I told you the other week, I see a whole bunch of Carolina Panther fans going at fucking Sam Darnold now, bro. But that's all I'm saying. I don't know how you can look at Baker and give him all this credit for shit that he ain't doing, but then you can look at Lamar Jackson and to be so critical and hesitant to give him any type of credit when he clearly carrying Baltimore right now, bro. And I'm going to tell you something, man. It's very easy to see the people in the media. Listen, one day, a huge majority, because right now, a big majority of fans don't watch podcasts and shows of their teams. They don't watch people who actually watch their entire team play, because those not the people who big right now. And I'm not just saying that to say that people don't watch me because and I watch the games and blah blah blah. And that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is most people who watch football, right, and who watch sports, they're gonna start they get their information from the people on ESPN, Fox, and shit like that, right? Most of them motherfuckers not watching full games unless it's like the game of the week or the primetime game. You know what I'm saying? They watching the game that everybody is watching. And some of them motherfuckers don't even watch them. But they definitely not watching your team, the full game of your team playing in late at this time of the year when it's other teams playing that's got that's where it's like bigger names or shit like that on the line. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not finna watch the Raiders play. I can't even say that. Man, y'all motherfuckers know what I'm talking about, man. They not watching full games, and so they not giving you full, accurate breakdowns of your team. One way I know, I've watched every single Baltimore Ravens game this year, right? Just like I don't watch every single Cleveland Brown game this year. But we're not talking about Cleveland. If you watch Baltimore, what you would know is the Ravens defense is atrocious. It's atrocious. How many people in the media have talked about Baltimore's defense this year? I will wait. Because I can already name you the only two people who I've really heard, or three people who I've heard mention anything really about their defense. So, Mina Kimes, Mina Kimes is a phenomenal reporter, bro. I wouldn't be mad at people for watching her, because I don't know how she do it, but she clearly is watching either the full game or she is sitting down breaking down full game tapes, because how she is talking so accurate on, bro. Mina said something today that was crazy to me, bro, and I gotta take a hit real fast. The batteries is back on. But Mina said something that was so wild to me that really opened my eyes. Like, I was kind of halfway dozed through it, and then when she said it, I was like, oh, what the fuck? Mina was talking to Stephen A. Smith, her and Keyshawn, and she was like, it might not even been today. It was the last time they had it. I had just seen the video for it, though. But Mina was like, I don't know how you could be talking about Lamar Jackson like this or something like that when you know that this team notorious for they drops in the playoffs. And that just told me that she definitely watched that Buffalo Bills game last year, bruh. I done said it multiple times, bruh. If you go back and watch Baltimore and at least two of the three, really all of them to be, except for his first one, bruh, Mark Andrews and the boys drop a lot of fucking catches, bruh. Last year in that Bills game, the Ravens win that game if not for the fact that so many dudes on that team was dropping catches and shit. And Lamar still might have brought them back and won it if not for the doofus-ass center throwing the ball over his head and concussing them, basically, which is something that they dealt with all year that you didn't hear about because the media don't watch full games, bruh. They don't. Mark Schlereth said something that was interesting on The Herd today. He was like, yo, I sat back and thought I knew what I thought about the Ravens or whatever. And he said, then I watched them play and I realized, bruh, these dudes, Lamar Jackson is a drop back quarterback. Like, we think he this other type of quarterback to get outside the pocket. No, Lamar Jackson is a 7-step drop quarterback. And I've been saying that shit on multiple podcasts this year. If you don't watch the Ravens, like Stephen A. Smith, you still say shit like, oh, Lamar Jackson is not an accurate quarterback. He can't work from the pocket. He's not good enough throwing from the pocket. He gets outside, he gonna get hurt. Well, I don't know what game tape you watching then, because Lamar Jackson only throws from the pocket at this point. Like, the majority of Lamar Jackson's throwing is from the pocket on dropbacks. Like, they say he run a high school offense. I don't understand that. Mark Schlereth even alluded to it. Like, this is a pro-style offense. They run other type of schemes like every other type of team do. But I don't understand when people continuously take shots at how Lamar throw and shit like that. Because that just, to me, proves, like I said, they don't watch the full games. And I don't know how long fans is going to accept listening to people talk about their teams when they're not saying things that are actually factual or not breaking down the full story. Because that's what happened to me. That's why I started tuning out of these shows and shit. Because when they not talking about, when you can tell when people not watching the full games, right? You can tell when people talk about your team and they was only watching the box score and shit. Even Ryan Clark alluded to it when they brought up the MVP odds right now from Vegas, I guess. And Tom Brady was at the top and Lamar was like the 10th one. How can you say you watching these games and say that Lamar Jackson is 10th in MVP right now? When in actuality, listen, I understand people wanting to give Tom Brady the MVP right now. I do get that. 25 touchdowns, 5 picks. But that would be the only reason you would say give it to him is because you're stat watching. But if you take Tom Brady out of that situation, because we saw what Tom Brady had tried to do without this type of supporting cast, right? And you see what Lamar Jackson done every year with the supporting cast he done had. He got you out. Listen, I love Hollywood and all them boys. Hollywood and them boys is not what they got over there in Tampa Bay. And so it's very funny to me because if you take Tom Brady out of Tampa Bay, I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. That is not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that ain't even the type of talent Jameis was working with when he was over there. You're not telling me that you just about to plug in. Now, I'm not saying you can plug in a Nate Peterson and no shit like that. But Baker Mayfield could keep that Tampa Bay ship afloat. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could plug in Baker Mayfield and that type of talent, and it'd be hard for him to fuck it up, even though he fucking up Cleveland. It'd be very hard. Y'all would be capping for him real hard if he was in Tampa right now. You can't tell me if you plug Tom Brady into the Ravens right now, the Ravens would be doing what they're doing. It's no shot. One of the reasons Tampa Bay can do what they doing with their defense being as bad as it's done been at points and times this year is because they have the weaponry on offense. Tom Brady ain't got to work too hard. He got Mike Evans, Godwin, AB, Gronk. I can't even remember if O.J. Howard is. I know he's still there, but I can't remember if he's healthy or not. But it's clear to me that Vegas ain't watching full games, bro. It's not. They just stat watching. It's the only reason you could be saying what you say when you say that it's Lamar Jackson is 10th in MVP. I just saw the Cowboys and the Cardinals teams win without their starting quarterbacks. Now, I'm not saying them teams is better without them quarterbacks, but what I am saying is an immense amount of talent, so much talent on those two teams, in fact, that they can win games without their quarterback being there. It's the same as when you say those two quarterbacks can have atrocious games and the team can still win. Lamar Jackson cannot be bad, and Lamar Jackson damn sure can't not play, and the Ravens expect to win. It's not happening. You didn't think the Ravens would be this good anyways when all the injuries they had coming into the season, and they are still right here, which I already knew because I said in the beginning when I first started the podcast, if Lamar Jackson, number 8, put it on the jersey on Sunday, the Ravens got a chance. Lamar Jackson is what y'all want some of these young quarterbacks to be, man. He can carry his team when everything ain't going the way it's supposed to go. Some of these other quarterbacks can't, but y'all don't want to give him credit for that. But Thursday night, I believe that that's going to be the game that Lamar really stat pad. I think that Thursday going to be his stat padding game. I'm not trying to take a shot at Miami or no shit like that, but what's Miami playing for? That's what I want to know. Miami has, 1 or 2 wins on the season, I believe, now because they beat the Texans last week. It would have done them justice to try to get that game to end in a tie or something. Clearly, both teams were trying very hard to lose it, and one team realized we had to win it. What they should have realized is we can actually end in a tie. Because those two teams, to me, at this point in the time in the season, Miami's definitely trying to secure a top draft pick. And if you the fan of a team that's religiously trying to secure top draft picks, hey, I hate it for you. I truly hate it for you. Because, and it's kind of worse for Miami, seeing as how you were supposed to be. You almost was a playoff team last year, and now look at this year. It's rough, but to me, it would make no sense. I'm not saying Miami not going to try hard. I'm definitely not saying that. But Baltimore know that this is a win they got to get, especially with the season. I mean, the schedule getting so tough now for Baltimore. We got Cleveland twice. We got Pittsburgh twice. We got the Green Bay Packers. We got the Rams. Well, we got a lot of tough games down the stretch. So this is definitely a game that Baltimore going to have to secure. This is a game you're supposed to win. This is one you got to win. This is like the Bengals was supposed to beat the Jets. You're not supposed to lose to the Jets. Losing to the Browns is understandable. I've said multiple times on the podcast that these three teams can beat each other in the AFC North. And I even told y'all that it wasn't over for Pittsburgh. And would you look at that? Pittsburgh is now number 2 in the division. I'm just telling you, as bad as Pittsburgh is, because Pittsburgh offense is atrocious. Tomlin gonna be able to coach them to wins, bro, because he's a great head coach, bro. It is what it is. Plus, when you playing against certain coaches who for some reason are better at coaching their teams to L's than to wins, shit like that's gonna happen. But for this game, Brian Flores, and I don't even know if you would say Brian Flores is on the hot seat. I mean, he only had one good season there, but I wouldn't fire him already. But they do got it. Like, I can't have you having one season that's that good, and then we have this season right here where we competing for the lottery now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's rough. But it's not a lot for the Dolphins to play for. That's why I think this is going to be, and it's a lot for Baltimore to play for. So for me, I mean, because Baltimore is competing right now for the top seed in the NFC. I mean, in the AFC. Now, I just want to put this out there. If the Ravens get the top seed in the AFC again under Lamar Jackson for a second time in his career, bruh, please stop comparing. Don't ever mention Baker Mayfield in the same sentence as him, bruh. Baker Mayfield can't win the fucking division. Lamar Jackson done got the best record in the AFC twice. So, yeah, bro. Just the only thing y'all Baker Mayfield dick suckers got is, he got the same amount of playoff wins as Lamar Jackson. Like, you don't say he done went there as many times. You just say he got that one playoff win that had very little to do with him and more with the Steelers just being a bunch of dipshits losing the game early, bro. Like I said, they defense did that, and you give all that credit to Baker, bro. Y'all some clowns, bro. Baker Mayfield fans, bro. Y'all are some absolute clowns, bro. And that's why your franchise is going to continue to be garbage, bro. But I think Lamar going to have what they call it, the Jackson 5, where he throw 5 touchdowns. I don't never call it that. I guess it's funny when I heard them call it that the first time I seen him do it on Monday night. Then they was calling it that against the Rams. But I do think this is going to be a big game for him. I think this is going to be like a 300-plus yard game. He might have a ton of yards. I hope he don't have to run the ball a lot, to be honest with you, because what quarterback in the league have to be the best quarterback on their team and the best running back on their team? Nobody but Lamar Jackson, bro. It just is what it is. And they didn't make a fucking trade in the before the deadline to bring over no help for him at running back. They didn't fucking sign anybody to help the defense. Like, the defense is getting torched on a weekly basis, bro. And Wink Martindale got to come to the carpet now, bro, because it's defenses in the NFL working with less who getting more out of their units right now. And Wink Martindale is marching that fucking unit on the field every week, and they getting torched, lit up, folding in coverage, breaking assignments. Like, this is unacceptable, bro. And this is the same shit that Earl Thomas had a problem with when he was there, and everybody was mad at him about it, bro. And I remember getting on Twitter the next day saying, well, he kind of right if you look at all the fucking breakdowns we be having in coverage, because I be on the Ravens' ass religiously. But everybody, I couldn't say nothing last year because the Ravens was a top defense last year. So I couldn't truly say nothing. But the Ravens was also healthy last year. Now they are not healthy. So you can't rely strictly on the talent. You have to adjust and be a coach. And Wink Martindale is not coaching this defense up good right now. All I'm saying is, if people got that same, the way people got mad at Greg Roman because they didn't think, and rightfully so, that he wasn't doing the best he could as an offensive coordinator to help Lamar Jackson and this offense succeed. Well, you got to look at Wink Martindale right now and say the same thing, because the defense look atrocious. They walking out there on a weekly basis getting lit the fuck up, bro. And it's unacceptable, bro. They are not helping Lamar Jackson at all, bro. Like, you cannot have your quarterback come back from double digits, give you a 7-point lead with a little under a minute left, and you still give up a fucking touchdown. You get to a 4th and 9, and you give up the 4th and 9 easily. Like, it's not a contested catch. It's not like a play that ends with like a flag or something, like a ticky-tack. No, it's just a wide open dude for get to pick up the 9 yards. Like, shit like that is irritating as a motherfucker for this defense. And it's done happen on a weekly basis, bro. And I don't understand how Wink Martindale can continuously go out there and have this happen. Like, you have to make some type of adjustments, bruh. If you can only coach one type of way, that is a problem, especially if you can't adjust that type of coaching. Like, it's cool to only know how to coach one, but if you can't even adjust your own game plan within your game plan when you got guys hurt, it's a problem, bro. You keep leaving, dude. For one, why did we keep running man? Marlowe keep getting lit the fuck up in man. Teams keep killing double A in man now. Like, why are we continuously running out of the man formation, bro? Why do we give guys so much space off of the line when a lot of dudes know that the Ravens gonna give up big yards deep? I mean, on the short routes, and because they can't tackle. We can't get after the quarterback. Even when they send blitzes, they don't get after the quarterback. All they doing is hurting the secondary that's already banged up. You shouldn't be running so many blitzes when you got a secondary that can't fucking defend nobody for longer than a second. All of these things are problems, bro. And that Wink Martindale got to address it, bro. Because somebody told me on Twitter, and I'm sorry, I can't remember his name at the moment, but one of my homies on Twitter was like, fire Wink Martindale. And I was like, at this point in time, I can't even argue it, bro, because, I mean, he ain't making no adjustments, bro. It's the same old shit on a weekly basis. He praying Lamar go out there and put on the cape and have to save him. It's a weekly occurrence at this point. First thing, it was drops. These receivers and tight ends was dropping the ball way too much. Early in the season, just drop after drop after drop. And it's been something that's done plagued Baltimore for a couple years since Lamar done been there. But now you got the fact that Lamar don't have a running game. He does not have a reliable running game. And he doesn't have a good defense, bro. Like, Joy Taylor spoke on it on, what is it? Speak for Yourself, I think. Yeah, Speak for Yourself. I think Joy Taylor was talking about today. She was like, the reason she trusts Buffalo is because of the Ravens defense. That's another reason I trust Buffalo a little bit more right now. It's because their defense is nowhere near as bad as Baltimore's defense. It's like I said, yeah, they lost to the fucking Jags, but they gave up 9 fucking points. That's on the offense, bro. If my defense hold a team to 9 fucking points, you have no excuse, bro. Win that game. So, to me, even with that loss to the Jags, it just made the defense for the Bills look even better, in my opinion. They didn't even give up double-digit points. That's on the offense. Baltimore's defense's only good game this year, in my opinion, has been the Chargers. And then you could dub that up to saying Justin Herbert's a young dude who still get confused by some of the coverages and shit that he see, as is his head coach is a young head coach. So, and I would accept that excuse. So to me, if Lamar Jackson is not being Superman on a weekly basis at this point, Baltimore probably ain't even a 2-win team at this point. That's how bad they done been defensively. That's how bad the running game done been. I don't know how many quarterbacks could have survived all the drops that they had this year at the beginning of the year without a running game. Like, this shit remind me so much of the Kobe year where he was like, it ain't no if or when we get, it ain't about a if we get to the playoffs, just a when we get to the playoffs. And he ended up hurting himself at the end of the year because he carried so much of the load, bruh. That's what Lamar, and obviously, knock on wood, I don't want Lamar to get hurt. But it's not okay for dudes to just be doing their jobs no more. Dudes need to step up all the way just like Lamar, bruh. He need help just like, you know what I'm saying? He need the same amount. He can't just have to go out there and be Superman on a weekly basis, bruh. It just can't keep happening. And I know he gonna get help next year when they get J.K. Dobbins back and Gus Edwards back. But this is a year-to-year game, bruh. If you only looking forward to next year and you already then gave up on this season, that's why I'm so critical. Because I want us to win this year. It's an opportunity for us to win this year. This is a big opportunity for us to win this year because the AFC wide open. It's going to come down to quarterback play and defense. What quarterback can make the big plays? What defense can get the big stops? And right now, I have no doubt that Lamar Jackson can make the big plays. But I do not trust this defense to get a stop to save their life right now. And that's a problem. Which is why, to me, Thursday is more about the offense. Can the offense get going early? Have a big, easy game, easy night. Blow the Dolphins out like you should. And it's a homecoming for Lamar and a couple of the dudes, Hollywood. on the team that's from Florida. And Lamar Jackson, he done had big games against Hollywood. First catch was a touchdown against the Dolphins. So I'm hoping, I'm thinking that this gonna be, not even hoping, I'm thinking it's gonna be a big game for this gonna be one of them stat stuffing games that help him push his MVP case. Because right now the only thing that other quarterbacks got on them is some of these quarterbacks got the stats. None of them really had the better records. It's just, or been doing more for their team. They just got the stats, right? And that's what people is using in some of these MVP cases. Well, Lamar Jackson not only gonna have all the if you watch the game, you could see that he is carrying his team, but he also gonna be able to have those stats, I believe, after this game. Because I believe this could be a 4 or 5 touchdown pass game for him. And that could put him at 16, 17 touchdowns on the season. And yeah, he got 7 interceptions. But for one, his stats is a little skewed because of the fact that he had to do so much for the team. And he did suffer from a lot of drops this season early on. Now, dudes has been way better so far lately. Marquise Brown was phenomenal last week. 9 catches, 118 or 19 yards, I believe. Marquise done been great all season, though. I believe, I done said that. He done had rough games this season. Obviously, the Lions game, but he had another rough game recently, too. I'm trying to remember. I think, was it last week or the week before? Either way, but he has been consistently better this year. Mark Andrews done been good this year. Mark Andrews, people always highlight it when he not having a huge game, but you got to realize, man, these are analysts and announcers who don't watch full games. So they just relying on the old stats that they looked up and did for the game rather than looking at the games they done seen this year and realizing it. Yeah, that's because Lamar Jackson go more to his receivers on the outside a lot this year. He ain't just throwing it to the tight ends. When Sammy Watkins was hurt, he was throwing it to Sammy a lot. He throw it to Rashad Bateman a lot. He throw it to Marquise on the outside a lot. He liked to work on the outside. Like I told y'all, man, Lamar is a drop back quarterback. Now, obviously, this is a Ravens podcast, so we was gonna always be talking more so about the Ravens than the Dolphins. But if I'm a Dolphin fan right now, bruh, because it's not that I'm expecting us to find a way to win. It's just you want to see some type of improvement or something in your team. To be completely honest with you, I don't know how you do it. Like I said, you got 2 wins on the season. One of them was against the fucking you technically got 1 win on the season because you beat the Texans. So I don't know, man. It would just be, to me, if I'm a Dolphin fan, I ain't gonna lie to you. Unless I'm just a fan of Lamar Jackson, and I tweeted like, Dolphins fans can't boo Lamar Jackson on Thursday night, bro. For the simple reason, he's from Florida, bro. You have to cheer him or you're a hoe. But with that being said, if I was a Dolphin fan, if this game get out of control early, I'm not going to lie, I'd probably go ahead and switch the TV unless I just want to watch Lamar. Because, like I said, the season feel like it's just about done with for the Dolphins, and you really should be trying to collect the L's so that you can secure a top draft pick. Especially if you're trying to trade for Deshaun Watson in the offseason. This would make it even more so, where you could trade Tua and a top pick in the draft and some other draft capital in order to bring over Deshaun Watson. That would probably help you even more, because then I would imagine that this thing with Deshaun Watson would have to be over in the offseason. Maybe it won't be, but I just figured that would be the best move for the Dolphins. Like, I ain't saying you should be hoping your team lose, but what I'm saying is you should be hoping your team play hard and lose. Because, like I said, that scenario right there would be fine. I'm pretty sure Dolphin fans would want. And like, Tua haven't really been given a real fair shake at being the quarterback for this team. I think they done hold my boy. Now, he do get hurt a lot. So, I mean, if you want to say he injury prone, hey, I can't even argue that. He was injury prone at Bama. But when he do play, I don't watch a ton of Tua no more either. Like, but what I'm saying is they don't really. If you imagine you was a quarterback, right, or you was a player. Just imagine you was a quarterback for a team that drafted you for you to be the quarterback. But every fucking time you turn around, they talking about trading you, and you haven't even had a full 4 year. Like, you haven't even played out 2 full years of your contract yet. Now, granted, I know some people who are going to be like, man, well, that's Deshaun Watson. I agree. I get that. It's going to be hard for Tua to end up being as good as Deshaun Watson, but what some motherfuckers got to realize is Deshaun Watson hasn't won anything in the NFL, motherfuckers. Like, I get, and don't feed me that bullshit. Oh, the Texans has just been a bad team. The Texans done had some pretty decent teams. Now, if you want to tell me they've had some bad coaching, yeah, I agree. But Deshaun Watson's really the only bad team he had was this year and last year, and he ain't even playing this year, so you can't even count this year. But Deshaun Watson, and this is another thing, bro. I want y'all to understand how y'all talk about these quarterbacks and the standards, how low y'all set some of the bars for these quarterbacks. I already done said great quarterbacks can come into a situation and flip an organization around because we done seen quarterbacks do it multiple times. It might take them 1 or 2 years, but 1, 2 or 3 years, they'll have a franchise completely flipped on its head and look like it's going in the right direction, right? So Joe Burrow came in last year, immediately turned that franchise around, gave people hope that, this is going to be a good franchise for in the long haul because Joe Burrow is a good quarterback. Fucking Lamar Jackson came in halfway or late in the first season of his career, got when the Ravens was under 500, got them to the playoffs, been in the playoffs ever since. He's flipped around the organization without the type of help around him that some of these other young quarterbacks done got drafted into the league and done had. Justin Herbert came in, yes, he done had a lot of great weapons around him and a lot of help around him, but he has already made people believe, this franchise is going to be a good franchise for the long run because we have a quarterback. You see what I'm saying? So when you say a quarterback is great, you can't keep using this excuse that, they don't have help and all this type of shit, but then say, but they can make players better. Because Lamar Jackson actually is making people better right now. He ain't got the guys who got certified credentials right now for being tops in the league at this and that. You know what I'm saying? Mark Andrews is the closest, but he became that since being with Lamar. He wasn't that before getting Lamar. Deshaun Watson done played with some certified goons. And then the moment he didn't have that goon no more, y'all immediately started making excuses saying, he ain't got enough help. I mean, he did have some decent players still on that offense still, though. But the thing is, and I love Deshaun Watson. I'm not saying Deshaun Watson is trash, but what I am saying is Deshaun Watson's not better than Lamar Jackson. To me, Deshaun Watson and Josh Allen are in the same category, where they're right under them dudes who I believe can truly carry a team. And when I say carry a team, I ain't saying carrying a team to a Super Bowl because you need help. You need guys to help you. I'm not saying carry a team for the entirety of the year. At some point in time, you want other motherfuckers to step up and do their jobs too. But what I'm saying is when the chips is down and when there's no hope, these motherfuckers can actually carry their team and make dudes play better than Josh Allen. I don't think Deshaun Watson and Josh Allen make their dudes play better. I think Deshaun Watson and Josh Allen have had some pretty good teams, but they also are immensely talented players. Like y'all done heard me talk about Deshaun Watson multiple times. I don't have to, keep going into a different type of round. I love Deshaun Watson, but I don't think Deshaun Watson makes Houston better. I think he had DeAndre Hopkins and a few other great pieces, and he happened to be talented also. But the motherfucker only been to the playoffs once in his career, and they blew that big ass lead to the Kansas City Chiefs, a game that they should have won. No excuse as to why they lost that. Has never beaten Lamar Jackson in his career. So I mean, I'm just saying, the type of dudes that y'all think is so great and so much better than Lamar, just look at their resumes, bro. That's all I'm saying. Like Deshaun Watson was in the NFL when Lamar Jackson won MVP. Like Deshaun was playing. So I'm just saying, when you want to give certain quarterbacks credit for certain type of shit, you got to understand what you're saying, what you're not saying in the absence of what you're saying, and how you shading Lamar Jackson for the type of credentials he got when you say certain shit. Mind you, you would love it if your quarterback, if you're not a fan of Lamar or that's not your favorite quarterback, you would love it if your quarterback had his credentials, unless you are Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, obviously. But we're not talking about them type of old quarterbacks who already done been able to stack up the accomplishments. Come on, bozos, stick with me. But for the Dolphins, man, to me, this is a game where you hope you lose because you really trying to. And like I said, this is not the channel or the podcast where you're gonna be getting too much on the draft spectrum. Where I think your team should go after this player in the draft or shit like that. Because I don't like college football and I don't watch college football. Now, I can tell you what free agents, when towards the end of the season, when the free agents start to become more noticeable on which guys going to be hitting the market and shit like that, I could tell you who your team should go for. But in all honesty, Miami need to figure out how to start building within the draft. I think teams have more success down the line where the majority of their good players doesn't have to be gotten from free agency, unless you're the Buccaneers. And even the Buccaneers had a whole bunch of homegrown talent. Godwin, Mike Evans, that's homegrown talent. A lot of the dudes on the defense, yeah, they might have signed them, but they had been there for a while at that point. Like Ndamukong Suh had already been there for a while. Shaq Barrett had been there before Brady and them boys had got there. Like JPP had already been there for a little minute at that point in time. And I remember telling people like, yo, because I knew that's where Tom Brady was going to sign in the offseason when I knew he was leaving Tampa Bay. When he was leaving New England. The first thing that I had said was, yo, it's no way that he don't at least give Tampa Bay a meeting. Because I was like, yo, this motherfucker got Godwin. And at the time they had Ronald Jones as the running back. He's still there, but Fournette is the Lenny is the starting running back. But it was so much talent on that team, and they didn't even have AB and Gronk at the time, bro. It was OJ Howard, Cameron Brate, and them two stud receivers. And I was like, both of them had popped 1,000 and went to the Pro Bowl that year. And I was like, yo, it's no fucking way Tom don't at least give his team a look. And he ended up signing with the motherfuckers, bro. To me, that was just that would have been stupid for him not to. To me, and it was in Florida. Come on, son. To me, that was just like the KD situation. When he was leaving OKC, I said the season before he left, I was like, if KD leave OKC, this motherfucker have to be going to Golden State, bro. Now, obviously, I'm one of the biggest Steph Curry fans in the world. But to me, it was like, why would he leave OKC to go to a worse team? And when you looked around the NBA, you was like, it was a couple things you knew. He wasn't going to go play with fucking LeBron James. You knew he wasn't going to play with LeBron. He wasn't going to go play with a team that was worse than OKC, which was a good team. They had Ibaka, they had Russ. I don't even think they had Ibaka no more. But I knew he also wasn't going to stay in OKC. Why would he stay in OKC? They traded away they got rid of Scott Brooks, even though I really don't think he was that mad about that because Scott Brooks wasn't a good head coach. He didn't like playing with Russell Westbrook, in my opinion. Like, I thought he had got to the point where he was like, yeah, I can't win with Russ. But after that, they traded away James Harden, one of the better players on the team that should have been a starter, not coming off the bench. They traded him away. Just bad coaching decisions on that team also. They didn't run a real system. It was get KD the ball, get Russ the ball. So it's his turn, your turn, his turn, your turn, my turn, his turn. That was never going to work because that's how they kept losing to the Spurs. And then I thought to myself, what team could he go to and fit in seamlessly? The Warriors. To me, it was a no-brainer. KD could shoot, they could shoot. His height would alleviate them not having a legitimate center because I knew KD and Draymond was going to take turns playing the center. And then KD had a bench if he went to the Warriors because that team had a great bench. They also had a great core. They had selfless guys. I was like, if you put two and two together, it only makes sense. What happened in the offseason? He signed with the Warriors. And I knew it was going to happen. Like, I don't know why people were so mad, bro. You got to think to yourself, bro. If you get another job opportunity, bro, that's way better than the one you got, it's got way better benefits, way better pay, way better people there, you're going to make that type, especially if you don't like the circumstances at your one job. Bro, you're going to eventually leave that, bro. Unless you're one of the people who like carrying a company on your back till your back breaks so you can just complain about how you had to carry a company all the years. If you one of them people, sure, stick with the rough business. But if you one of the people who enjoy like this new I say this all the time. I give this generation credit, bro. They was like the first I don't know what this generation is called, Gen Z, whatever this generation is called. These little motherfuckers, man. The first people who collectively was like, yo, working for people kind of fucking sucks. We don't want to do it. We want to start our own businesses, start our own YouTube channels, our own TikToks, our own Instagrams, and all this type of shit. And we're going to make money the way we want to make money, and people ain't gonna like it, people ain't gonna agree with it, but we're gonna get rich fast, and this shit been working for a lot of young people, bro. You see a new young person getting rich every fucking day, bro. Every fucking day. And then when you turn around at the end of the week, you see some old head getting rich off of doing some young man's type shit nowadays, bro. I'm just telling you, bro, this new generation, or whatever this generation called, bro, these motherfuckers is some hustlers, bro. They some go-getters, bro. I respect that shit immensely, bro. There's nothing but respect for it, bro. I can't like I'm so taken back by it, bro, because I was thinking about that shit the other day, bro, and I'm probably said that shit on the podcast. But anyways, bro, back to the NFL, bro. But Baltimore, because I'm getting all off topic, bro. We supposed to be talking about the motherfucking Dolphins and the motherfucking Ravens, bro. But listen, the Dolphins got to do something, man. Especially seeing as how you in a division where the Patriots done got ahead of you again already, bro. And I had took some shots at the Patriots. And I still feel the same way about when I said that Bill and them boys was holding Brady back from like hitting crazy numbers and stats and shit like that. I still agree with it. But, man, Belichick starting to show that he can be a good head coach. Now, I'm not finna get on here and overhype Mac Jones like a lot of people been doing. But the Dolphins really, Jesus Christ, bro. But if you get Deshaun Watson somehow, I immediately would probably take that team as the best team in that division, bro. Just because he would be the best quarterback in the division. And y'all know how I feel about quarterbacks, bro. Y'all know how I feel about quarterbacks. When you got you a good quarterback, he can overcompensate for bad everything else. Especially if you're playing against a team that's got a bad quarterback but good everything else. But Thursday need to be a Merc job. Thursday need to be a Merc job for Baltimore. Got to come out there and Merc the Dolphins, bro. Got to. It can't have it no other way. This got to be a game where we put our foot in the Dolphins' ass like everybody else who done played the Dolphins. And I got no doubt about it that we can. Like I said, my only problem is the defense. But I don't even think the defense will play bad enough to get chalked up and diced up by the Dolphins, bro. And what's crazy is I don't know how Jacoby done got this bad. Like, I thought Jacoby was decent in Indy, and he was given wasn't given a real good deal. But damn, rough last couple weeks, man. The Dolphins look pathetic, man. I didn't want it to get to that. I was trying not to say nothing like that about the Dolphins, but the Dolphins look fucking pathetic, man. It's rough. They don't look more pathetic than the fucking Texans, but Jesus Christ, man. It's real funny, too, that the two of the worst-looking teams in the league is the ones that's trying to make the trade for Deshaun Watson and whatnot. You know what's crazy? What if Tua get traded to the Texans and his whole career flip? Like, he start balling out, right? Just because he playing with a team that actually want him now and believe in him and shit like that. It'd be interesting. I definitely think Deshaun Watson still will end up being I don't know, man. I think I love Deshaun Watson, but somebody last year made me realize that I was overhyping Deshaun Watson because I used to blame everything else for Deshaun Watson. But then I sat back and looked, and I was like, Deshaun Watson really do hold on to the ball too long sometimes. Like, sometimes Deshaun Watson only play for them. And Lamar get in trouble for this sometimes too, even though I don't think he is like this. Like, Deshaun and them boys don't like working intermediate throws a lot. Right? If you watch the Texans, they either hitting with them little short screens, the little short drag routes and shit, or they going deep down the field to Will Fuller or D Hop. Like, they go down the field. They pick up big yards. Deshaun kind of hold on to the ball too long, and that put them in bad situations. Yeah, and do you notice this year how many quarterbacks are hold on to the ball too long, and then when they finna get sacked, they just throw up dumbass throws, bro? Hey, somebody got to stop this, bro. They got to put a stop to this, man. Quarterbacks getting a little too loosey-goosey with the football this year, man, with some of these bozo throws, man. Like, just take the sack, bro. Like, what are you doing? Live to fight another play, bro. And then it'll be sometimes they'll do it on the third down, and you thinking to yourself, bro, we could have just punted this fucking ball and made them work up the field. Instead, now they got to get a short field because you decided to throw this bozo-ass interception, bro. It's really crazy to me, bro. I swear I see it more and more on a weekly basis now, where quarterbacks is just throwing up some absolute ducks, bro. And it's even worse when the fucking defenders don't catch them. Patrick Mahomes threw a duck against Kevin King, and Kevin King just bloop bloop. And I just want to let Packer fans know, I was told by a lot of Packer fans in the offseason that Kevin King wasn't going to be a Packer no more. So, but with that being said, bro, it ain't really no point in continuing on, man. Y'all know how I feel. I think I don't really call blowouts for us. I haven't really called a blowout for us yet this year, except for against the Lions, and we ended up coming down to the wire against the Lions. I'm predicting the blowout against the Dolphins, bro. The Dolphins is a special type of. If we play the Lions again, I think we blow them out. But I'm predicting a blowout. I think this is going to be a big stat padding game for Lamar Jackson to help his MVP case even more, even though I already think he's an MVP. But motherfuckers need stats to believe everything nowadays, especially unless you certain quarterbacks. But I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode. It's been a while since we done did quote the Raven, bro. Kicking it with Saint, man, is just the main focus right now, bro. But hey, I still be putting Raven shit in those, because the kicking it with Saint really just become like, that's where we just talk football all together. That's not just one team. And I enjoy talking about I love talking about the Ravens, obviously, but I like talking about every team too, bro. There's a lot of shit going on in the NFL, bro. It's exciting, bro. But I appreciate you for joining me, man. I hope y'all have a dope day, dope afternoon, dope night, whichever point in time in the day that you're watching this video, listening to this podcast, rather, because this ain't gonna have a slideshow. It's just gonna have the one thing, and that's it. But I appreciate y'all for joining me, man. Saint is out.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words, and when I say them, people get goosebumps because they know what happens next. So without further ado, free smoke. Look, scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver, pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny.